Hello, it's January 3rd, 2026. It's 1:21 a.m. Everyone else in my house is asleep, so I'm gonna not try and be too loud. But yeah, I thought I would do another reading, and I'm excited to continue the story of Joseph. Um, I just turn around because there's some pretty ominous shadows showing up on my camera, but it's just the work of the camera and the lighting. I'm looking behind me and it's very pleasant, so there's nothing back there, don't worry. Just watched a movie called Bird Box, so I'm a little on edge. It's about these, I don't even know what they are. It's these creatures that when people look at them, it makes them lose their minds and kill themselves. So it was a really trippy movie. So now I'm kind of on edge, and I thought, what better way to um, give myself a sense of peace than to read the Bible. So let's get into Genesis chapter 39, titled Joseph and Potiphar's Wife. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard, brought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph, so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord did give him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and of all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while the master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you were his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her, or even be with her. One day he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hand and ran out of the house. When she saw that he had left his cloak in her hand and had run out of the house, she called her household servants. "Look," she said to them, "this Hebrew has been brought to us to make sport of us. He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." She kept his cloak beside her until his master came home. Then she told him the story. "That Hebrew slave you brought us came to me to make sport of me. But as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." When his master heard the story, his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me." He burned with anger. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care, because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. Wow, what a interesting start to the story. As I said before, I actually had remembered the story of Joseph from a movie. Maybe I can look it up right now. I'll just look it up live. Why not? We're a small YouTube channel here. We can just look up things. Story of Joseph movie. Oh, it's called Joseph, King of Dreams. Okay, so that's the name of the movie, if anyone was wondering. It's called Joseph, King of Dreams. I think I watched it when I was a kid. I'm not sure how it would hold up now, but I do recommend it being good. I recollect it being good, not recommend. Well, I do recommend it, but wow, it's late. I'm rambling. So 1:26 a.m. now. Um, I want to talk about something uh, after this reading. Um, it's actually about a revelation I've had in my life lately, and it's that I have accepted my own death. And you might say, wow, that's really dark, Jonathan. Um, no, it's not. And I mean that in a very good way. I have finally come to terms with the fact that my childhood is over, which is fine. Um, and I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid to die. I understand now that this life is a gift that has been given to me, and I'm meant to try and do my best and live as much like Jesus as possible. I think that's the goal, to try and be like Jesus. And it's hard, our very nature is against it. But I think I finally am starting to understand what's really important. And so many of the things I once, um, you know, slaved away trying to accomplish now seem all of a sudden not so important. And I think everything I ever needed to accomplish my real goals, what I should have been working towards, I've always had around me the whole time: my family, friends, nature, a place to sleep, food. I mean, just the simple things in life. And when kind of tying this back to what I said, I just think that this life it's not a test. Um, I think in some sense it is a test because uh, we're meant to have faith, and we're meant to believe in something we can't see and often can't sense. And I think that's a test, but more than just being a test, it's also a race. I think so many people think life is a game that you can win. I don't think anyone can win life. It doesn't matter how rich you get, how many fast cars you have. Even the people you love one day are going to be gone, and I do believe you can see them again. Um, I actually want to look into that. Will we see the people we love again in heaven? That's a good topic to research. I think yes, just instinctually, but I would have to look into it. But anyway, back to what I was saying, you can't win at life. You're gonna eventually lose everything. But life is not a game. Life is a test of endurance. It's how much can you endure, and how much can you take and still be joyful and try and live like Jesus. And I think the one thing that is eternal is God's love. And if you wish to be a good person, if you wish to serve something greater than yourself, and you want to escape this idea that one day everything will disappear, uh, you can take comfort in God's love, because God is love and He's eternal. And that just brings such comfort to me. I think I think atheists are probably some of the most courageous people, because I don't know how they can stomach the thought of a universe without God. It just seems so scary. But then you learn of him, and he comes in and he changes everything. And suddenly you're not afraid of dying and loss anymore, because you know there's something you can now no longer lose. It'll always be with you, and that's love. Um, I guess I'm gonna end it. I should go to bed. It's late, and I have to play chess tomorrow with my best friend, so I'm hyped. Okay, Eric, my camera's going crazy too. Maybe if I stand still. No, not if I stand still. It'll still go crazy. Okay, if it's daytime, have a blessed day. If it's nighttime, have a blessed night/evening. Thank you. Bye.